For the past few months, Mohammed Hijab has been embroiled in a sex abuse scandal.
This man, he got married to me for a day, he had intercourse with me, and he left.
Officially, he denies the accusation of tricking a woman, alias Aisha, into a secret sex-only marriage, or maybe officially he hasn't said anything. It's hard to say what counts as official when the story changes with every post. First, it's, "I will release a video in 30 to 60 minutes. Then the video shows up on a zero-subscriber channel called False Accusations. Then the channel posts a video claiming it has nothing to do with hijab.
This channel is not affiliated with Mohammed Hijab, nor are we based in the UK.
Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Hijab is telling all his Dawah friends it's his channel and encouraging them to comment and spread the video. So, who knows what the official story is? But regardless, the position of Hijab is clear. He never knew Aisha.
Hijab outright denied everything.
That was a mistake. That was a big mistake.
No, wait. He dropped that claim and said she was a stalker.
These allegations stem from a deeply obsessed individual whose erratic behavior included tracking down Hijab's family and persistently stalking him for years.
I'm sorry, I retract my statement.
Hold on. What about the second false accusations video? Didn't AI Hijab say it was a marriage and divorce, but not a big deal?
In Islam, sexual fulfillment is not just a permissible reason for divorce. It is a legitimate one.
Some of those guys are just on having sex and leaving.
And now Dean Responds has jumped to Hijab's aid, arguing that Behind Veils, the channel who broke the story, deceptively didn't show Dean's brilliant conspiracy that Aisha is mentally ill.
The person who Mohammed Hijab apparently had misyar with was mentally ill, right? I sufficiently proved that she is mentally ill.
So I guess the claim is now that, yeah, Hijab abused her, but it's okay because she's unwell.
That was wrong. I mean, I can't justify it to myself.
By the way, the so-called evidence consisted of public tweets asking David Wood and Abdullah Samir for help, combined with a couple benign takes on random questions. I must ask, what is wrong with these sick Dawah freaks?
I think there is a degree of self-aggrandizement.
It's hard to keep what story I'm supposed to believe straight in all the lies. But I think what I'm supposed to believe here is that Hijab never married Aisha, but even if he did, it wouldn't have been abusive.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. So what is your story then?
I'm a very small student of nothing.
Okay, let's continue. Hijab has admitted to this marriage so many times, I've lost track. First, there are the texts he sent to Aisha after his groomed sexual abuse by so-called marriage failed. Texts which he thought would never come to light thanks to having them set to auto-delete. In his anger, Hijab says he'll claim Aisha was bad in bed if she goes public.
I took what he was saying personal and tried to return his personal insult with personal attack or joke or mockery or whatever.
When it turned out that Aisha had screenshotted the conversation, a long-dormant X account called True Salafi 1 jumped to Hijab's rescue.
I could do that, and they know that I can do that.
And made 2 attempts to prove Aisha was a fake by faking screenshots himself.
Let's see to what extent, the thing is actually fake as you're making it out to be.
Take a look at that circle of Shuli or Dershowitz, supposedly added on top of a screenshot of Aisha's video to highlight her error.
Look closely, guys.
Well, it does highlight an error, all right. Somehow, the YouTube overlay is on top of the circle. The only way this could happen is if the person who circled the suspicious words also added the YouTube overlay over the top of the words he first wrote himself. And surprise, surprise, it's now come to light that Hijab and his Dawah gang were conspiring to get these fakes out, which led to Ali Dawah sharing one of them in his video in which he swears by Allah that Hijab was not involved in its production.
And I'll be very honest with you, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is my witness. Uqsam billah, nobody has asked me to do this video. Yes? Nobody. For those who are coming and saying, oh, it's Mohammed Hijab.
I'm not going to try and spend, obviously, a lot of my own intellectual and even emotional energy on this.
Then there was a conversation with Behind Veils, which Hijab tried to turn into a joke about his sexual prowess.
And that was a joke I made, and I think it was an inappropriate joke.
While Aisha was seeking help, Hijab repeatedly told on himself, laughing up sexual abuse with Daniel Haikachu.
The women who take it the best are the revert sisters. From my experience of observing the situation, you know, I found... Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Scientific observation.
And accidentally admitting to a recent secret marriage on Bitter Truth,
The man is more severe, obviously. I've got divorce in my...
among other things.
Be aware that these guys operate in that way.
Then there is the second false accusations video. Full confession, game over. A full confession, indeed.
Behind the microphone stands a boy pretending to be a man, small in courage, impotent in character, diminished in every way that matters.
No, wait, not that confession, the other one.
But guilty of what? Marrying and divorcing a woman? Since when did that become a crime in Islam?
And now we've learned of yet another confession by Hijab. Salman of Behind Veils explains.
So there was no marriage, right?
Misyar marriage. It became Messiar.
And what was Mohammed Hijab's response to this misyar marriage claim? Nothing. No denial, no correction, no rebuttal, silence, absolute silence. Silence in a room of 75 dawah bros is consent. It is approval. It is confirmation. It is affirmation.
What Salman doesn't point out is the joke. Yar is a common Urdu word for friend, especially a lover. So the misyar marriage fraud turned into a messy lover. Laugh it up, boys. Laugh it up.
He was such an excited man, could even last for more than 2 minutes.
So Mohammed Hijab has repeatedly admitted that a so-called marriage took place. But wait, there's more. Back in 2019, right before he met Aisha and started grooming her, Hijab rightly called the exact behavior he would soon engage in sexual exploitation.
They're sexually exploitative people.
Over a series of videos disputing with a rival group called Salafi Publications, or SPub, about the doctrine of God, Hijab repeatedly asserts the group is engaged in sexual misconduct. While he ends up retracting many of the theological points by the end of the debate, he doubles down on the abuse allegations, saying,
You know, you guys get married for 2 days, which is true, by the way. These guys do get married for that length. That is an issue in the communities.
Mohammed Hijab, champion of women's rights, tell us more about what this type of marriage really amounts to.
And these guys, they do exploit women. And I'm saying that with all saraha. They do exploit women. When I say exploit women, in what context? In the context of marrying them for a very short space of time and then leaving them. So they're trying to fulfill their sexual drives or whatever, sexual desires, and then they leave them.
So marriage for the purpose of sexual gratification is exploitation of women? I agree. But wait a second. Hijab had ideological justification for his behavior.
I'm going to go into this marriage and we'll test the waters. I don't know if I'm going to be with this woman for the rest of my life or not. How about that? Because that intention for me is better than going into like effectively pornography addiction or zina, which are the two big ailments of the time.
I wonder what Hijab would have to say about that.
Be aware of them, generally speaking, because they do have certain things that they've ideologically justified for themselves. You may face oppression.
I must say, Hijab, you have destroyed your opponent. Hijab, how would you respond?
I can't justify it to myself, and I have to have a conscious. I have to have an honest outlook on my own behavior.
No. I meant the other Hijab. This is so confusing.
Lying is not allowed except for 3 things. One of them is hadith al-rajul limra'ati, that when a man speaks to his wife. And in Sahih Muslim it says, and when a wife speaks to her husband.
White lies?
It doesn't have to be white. It can be a black lie.
So your defense is it's okay to lie to your wives. Got it. What do you think, other Hijab?
They don't care. They see you as sexual objects.
I must say, you have excellent insight to the mind of your opponent, Mohammed Hijab. Any final thoughts on what we need to see from the other Mohammed Hijab?
First and foremost, there should be some apologies that are made on my behalf.
I couldn't agree more. It's time to apologize, Mohammed Hijab. It's time to apologize for lying to and abusing Aisha. It's time to apologize to the Ummah for covering it up, blackmailing the honest, and bringing further shame upon yourself and your community. It is time to apologize to your lapdog Dawa gangs for drawing them into your crimes. And it's time to apologize to yourself for behaving so poorly for so long.
And I'm not going to hold myself to that standard.
Then the Ummah needs to do it for you. And if not the Muslim community, then the rest of humanity. Mohammed Hijab must not get away with his crimes. Start by catching up with the whole story in this playlist, and then share these videos with anyone who will listen. Together, we will fight for justice, and we will be victorious.